Everyone, and welcome to Perfectly Planned Content's Writing Wednesday video series, where we dive into the power of words and the many ways that writing can impact your business. I'm Lauren Keller, the Director of Content Writing and Strategy, and I'm so excited to bring you a video series that's completely dedicated to the craft of writing. Today, I wanted to dive into a topic that's essential to your brand, your website. Your website is often your brand's first impression. Unless a prospect meets you in person, your website will be their introduction to you and your services, so you really want to get it right. Your goal is to create website copy that's stunning, evocative, and ultimately attracts the right clients. How can you accomplish this? Today we'll talk about 5 things to get you started. The first is give each page a purpose. The words on your website are like prime real estate. Location matters. It's important to have the right text in the right places so your audience can easily interact with your brand. If you don't let readers know who you work with, for example, until the very end of your homepage, they may leave before you have a chance to entice them. To start, create a sitemap of all of the pages that you plan to have on your website. We typically come across the top 5, which are the home, about, services, resources, and contact pages, but feel free to add any additional pages that your brand may require. Now, list out all of those pages and describe their corresponding purpose. Your home page, for example, should directly mention what you do, who you want to attract, how you can go about solving their problem, and why you're qualified to do so. Going through an exercise like this may reveal issues or inconsistencies in your current copy. You could also find that your website is just too jumbled and it doesn't have a clear message. If your messaging is inconsistent, now is a really great time to identify those holes and figure out where you can fix them. Number 2, this one is super important. If you take nothing else away from this video, make sure you take this away right from your audience's point of view. As a business owner, so many of the decisions that you make come from your vantage point, but it's time for you to choose another seat. When writing copy for your website, you want to do so from your audience's shoes. Because your website isn't just about you or how amazing your brand is or all the incredible things you're doing in the industry. Your website copy should be about your clients, who they are, what their issues are, what their hopes and dreams are, and where you as a brand fit into their narrative instead of where your clients fit into your narrative. So that's just a little tip there. And how do you write copy from that lens? What do you do? There are a couple questions that you can ask yourself. What are your audience's hopes and dreams? What roadblocks stand in the way of them achieving their goals? How do you want your readers to feel when they interact with you and your brand? And how can your business guide them to the best solution? When you put your audience first, they'll definitely notice. Number 3 is don't shy away from problems. Often on websites, brands try to keep things very light and warm and fuzzy and happy and act like there aren't any problems. But if that were true, why would clients need you? Right? So don't be afraid to talk about the problems that you have answers to and solutions for. I'd love to give an example here. Think about Vroom. Vroom is an online buying and selling company for cars, and they certainly don't shy away from conflict. Their commercials and messaging often depict a typical person looking for a car. That person has 2 choices. One, they can endure a horror movie-esque experience at a dealership, or they can buy and sell their car directly online with Vroom. So while you don't have to go to that extreme, it's crucial to address the problems your clients face and how you can guide them through the process. 4, know when to stop writing. When in doubt, keep your website copy short and sweet. Your readers aren't there for a novel. If you give them one, they will go away. Brevity is your friend, so lean into it. That's all I'm going to say on that. And lastly, you want to optimize your website copy. By this point, you're going to have your readers eating out of the palm of your hand. How can you do the same for Google? You want to take great care to optimize your websites so search engines can easily access it. After all, why spend all of this time creating stunning copy that no one can find? Start by conducting thorough keyword research for short tail, long tail, and local keywords. To do that, consider the language that your audience uses to search for your product or service. That might look something like financial advisor near me or high net worth wealth management. Cross-check your research with other search engine websites like Ubersuggest, SEMrush, and even Google. Once you know what keywords work best for your audience and brand, use them throughout your site. Make them a focal point, make them part of the headers, interweave them in your copy, maybe use them as a call to action. Don't be afraid to sprinkle them consistently throughout your copy. Here are some other things to consider when you're optimizing your website. Use heading tags appropriately. Be sure to write meta descriptions. Don't forget about alt tags and image descriptions. Remain conscious of your image sizes and ensure the site is mobile friendly. These 5 tips merely scratch the surface of website best practices. Be sure to stay tuned where I'll take an in-depth look at the do's and don'ts of every specific website page. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.